him?
You look at him.
I look at him.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
good. Just checking that it is. Okay, good.
We have Professor Excel Gerloff from Germany. Can we start afresh?
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, we have Professor Excel Gerloff from Germany. He will tell us the university he comes from, but he's involved in work integrated learning. There's a few things that we want to understand as a country about how Germany are doing things so that perhaps we could take lessons from them. That is why we actually invited them to this summit of the South African Human Resource Development Council. Professor Gerloff, let me start where we should start. As a country, we have got quite a sizable number, about 40% of unemployed youth. Now, among the youth, we have now classified them as what we call the NEET, those who are not in employment, in education and training. Now, we want to know from you, what strategies do you think, after having studied and observed probably the pattern of doing things in this country, what programs would you suggest to us to reduce the scale of unemployed youth? Some of them are trained, of course, but they are not in employment.
Yeah. Okay, first of all, thank you very much for having me here and being interested in my German expertise in work integrated learning.
Our pleasure.
And I want to be very careful about like giving advice to another country, but I can tell you a little bit about the German approach to solving youth unemployment, because as you might know that we have a special system in place in Germany that is called Ausbildung. It's a combination of vocational schooling and training on the job. And that has been extremely successful to bring young people into work. So when we talk about not having employment, not being in education, Germany has used sort of like a two-step approach. On the one hand side, those who are more interested in getting a job, earning an income, can pursue that way, that career, after secondary school for starting a job, being trained, and going to vocational school. The second way would be going into the tertiary sector, going to a university, where especially the federal state that I come from, Baden-Württemberg, has a very differentiated system. We have the traditional research universities that offer the standard study programs preparing for an academic career. But not every student wants to pursue an academic career becoming a professor in the field. So we also have universities of applied sciences that put a more applied focus on the study program. That means they usually have 2 semesters where they have to do an internship, a work experience, and then the university that I'm from, the Baden-Württemberg Cooperative State University, carries this one step further so that the students in each semester combine studying and working. So they sign a contract with a company that supports the student throughout the entire 3-year bachelor program. And it's really about learning by doing sort of approach, that they study, they apply their theoretical knowledge in a work environment, they reflect on that, carry that back into our school, and that happens 6 semesters long, so that they really have theoretical and practical experience. So I would say really looking at the different groups of youth, some having a more practical approach, some wanting to go into an academic career, can be an opportunity to reach different target groups.
Thanks a lot. In relation to particularly those that go to practical programs, we have students who qualify from our technical education and vocational and training colleges. We're trying to partner with industry to absorb those people, to subject them, to offer them training towards becoming artisans through the whole apprenticeship program. Now we hear often the industry is complaining that the quality of the output that we give them sometimes is not fitting in their own industrial requirements. Have you seen that happening to you in the past? Where do you think we could be getting things right or wrong? Because we say we have got a lot that we have produced. Industry says no, but these people of yours do not fit in our own industry, perhaps, in terms of understanding technology and other related things.
And that was actually the reason for our school to be founded. That back about more than 40 years, the corporate sector approached our ministry and said, well, we do have this practical way of teaching with the vocational schooling and training on the job. We also have the academic side with the research universities. But, same as you said, but this doesn't quite match what our need is. So yes, we do need those practically trained young people. We need the academics as well. But what we also need is sort of a combination of both. So we should come up with a new system, and that's how our school was actually founded, that it was a combination then of academically trained graduates that also have a practical experience. So it is not unknown. This phenomenon is not unknown to us. We were fortunate enough to have the corporate sector articulate the needs, so that we were setting up about 40 years ago a system that we had hoped at that time would serve the needs of the industry, of the different sectors. And at the beginning, of course, there were a lot of hurdles that had to be taken out of the way, and the reputation of the school had to be built over many years. But it proved to be successful because it was what you can call a public-private partnership, in the sense that the state was offering the academic training at the university level, and the companies, for the private part, were financing the practical experiences during the semester. So really, in a kind of collaborative effort, they set up this system, and it proved that the companies, they had to invest into the human resources, that is the young students, had an interest in offering programs and exactly to their needs, that the curricula are structured in the way that they can employ them afterwards. And of course, for the state, it benefited with our economy being based on, well, the global players, but also the small and medium-sized enterprises that would say, well, having this graduate from a research university being very well academically trained, that is not really the needs that we have. Yes, it is a good theoretical qualification, but we also need this applied focus. So we actually saw the same, and creating a more differentiated system helped solve the problem.
One last thing just before we part. The fourth industrial revolution. We already have people who have graduated, both in my country and in your country. They are in industry, they are working now, but there's automation of processes. Are you ready, and how did you get it right? Perhaps you could learn a thing or two.
Well, I think that has two aspects. Again, one is that the new generation needs to be prepared for this Industry 4.0. And this is something where, again, our companies contact us saying, well, we need more digitalization, the digitalization of business processes, and in industry engineering, this has to be built into the curriculum so that they are know what to expect. The other aspect is those, as you said, there are people who went through the system, and this is something with technology change. We have quickly changing technology, and we just have to be aware that once we've gotten a degree, we still need to learn. We need to continue our education. It's not going through education, then that's it, and we've learned for the rest of our life, but it's a lifelong learning process.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you.
We hope you will also have lessons to take away from this.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot. That was Professor Exel Gerloff from Germany.